I like to very often say you'll never know if you don't try. Mainly when I'm eating foods. Anyways, I am so happy that I tried pizza when I was a kid. I love pizza. And tacos. And buffalo wings. Although, as I get older, I don't eat those as much as I used to. Anyways, I say that because, you know, this vehicle here, if you look in the photographs, this Nissan Delta Wing, it's a weird looking vehicle. There are a couple Americans that tried to change the state of racing. And there's an American designer and engineer, Ben Bowlby, is credited with designing this vehicle. It's called the Delta Wing. In this particular case, it's a Nissan-powered Delta Wing. Nissan actually gave them an engine and, you know, bought some rights to put their, you know, brand on the vehicle because they knew it was a weird-looking experimental vehicle for good marketing purposes. So this car, it raced between 2012 and 2016. It was built and maintained by Panos, Georgia, the car company, the U.S. car company. I think they're still in business. I think Don Panos passed away, but I think they still make cars. I'm not exactly sure. This is this model we're looking at is by this brand Sparky here, and it's actually interesting. It actually has a 24 Hours of Le Mans hologram. Minimax Spark model. So this is, I think, if it's the same brand that I love for 187 scale vehicles. Their details are just insane in 187. Hopefully they're the same here. I forget where I bought this. I know it was off AliExpress, but I can't remember the seller's name, so I apologize to those people. But it obviously showed up safely, and they even took the effort to make sure that the thing doesn't like spin around on the base as delivery guys throw them around, right? So this is pretty good preventative measures here. So some masking tape of some sort. And I think I literally just cut into the... Well, hopefully I didn't just cut into the car. I probably should have cut the bottom. Oh well. So this project began in 2009, and the reason why it came about is the IndyCar series was looking for a new car to race. Unfortunately, they ended up choosing a Dallara design because I think they realized the American public was going to have a hard time absorbing this thing being a race car. But nowadays with like e-racing and stuff, it's changing, right? E-racing cars are kind of getting a little wacky looking. But as you can see, with the nose here being so narrow, it's meant to reduce drag, and it's also meant to reduce weight, and henceforth it doesn't need as large of an engine, and it can also use less fuel. So the original thinking of this design is really fantastic. You know, it's just a lighter vehicle, but still high performance. Reminds me of a Lotus, actually. Lotus cars, Colin Chapman's thinking. Alright, so a couple statistics on this thing. It's supposed to be 0.6 meters wide on the front track, which is around 2 feet wide. So it has really skinny tires, although they're pretty tall tires. And then the back is a little more normal, so it's 1.7 meters or like under 6 feet. Okay, and then you'll notice there's no wings on the, as far as horizontal wings go. They do this vertical stabilizer, but all the downforce is created through the belly pan. You can see its diffuser here. You know, the body tapers off, and then this is sucking it to the ground. Okay, now there are a couple different engines. One was Nissan, excuse me, and it's a 1.6 liter engine, and it's turbocharged, and I think it was making 300 horsepower. I think that was like the first in 2012. That year they were using the Nissan, so this might be from 2012. Later on they used an Elan engine, a 1.9 liter Elan engine, and that was also turbocharged, and that one was making 350 horsepower. So even with the whatever engine it was, the thing wasn't really a successful race car. The very best it ever did was a 5th place finish. So, yeah, if you're looking for racing credentials, this might not be for you. But I like wacky looking things. So let's take a look at the pictures of the real car and see if Sparky did a good interpretation. Okay, so it looks like a dart, right? Looking at that, I mean, I think it looks pretty close. Seems to be like this weird wing here, right? part of the diffuser. Alright, let's try this top view. That's gonna really tell us. Oh boy, I can't even. Oh boy, I don't know how I can really hold that. So I never thought I'd be doing this in my lifetime, holding a car against a computer monitor. It's so black, I don't know. It's hard to tell, right? I guess I need to have that light hit it at that angle, but it looks pretty accurate to me. You guys can decide for yourself. Here's another. I pulled up this picture because you can see this is like a traditional looking LMP racer, Le Mans Prototype Racing. So, I mean, it's just so different. It's so different that I had to get this. Okay, let's get into the model itself now with the dental pick. Alright, so the finish itself, it's a matte black or satin black. It's not glossy. So that actually is helpful because there aren't a lot of reflections to distort the view. The most reflective thing are the decals, which is a letdown. They're not tampo prints, so there's a good chance these are going to crack off and be problematic in the future. If you handle the model like this, you know, just the oil from your hands will probably try to suck it off the model, so be mindful of that if you get it. This thing doesn't roll at all. That wheel is just fixed in place. The rear wheel, no, that thing's totally fixed in place, but that doesn't really bother me because I'm not going to play with this thing. In fact, I like models that don't roll at all because they don't fall off shelves or fall off rotating displays. Okay, well anyways, the front wheels are just, I can't tell if there's a disc brake. You know, it's blocked off, but maybe that's supposed to be the brake rotor. The reason why is on the back, it's a lot smaller, the hub of it. Okay. Notice the front tires are very narrow, whereas the back looks more traditional in their width. This thing is riveted together. Not that there's not much reason to take it apart. It's going to be hard to do a wheel swap on this. Which brings up the question, it does seem like there's an axle here, so I think it is actually possible to do a wheel swap if you wanted to put maybe some better BBS style rims or something on it, but look at the photographs. I think these wheels are accurate to the real car. I think they're actually molded for this casting. They're not like generic wheels from other Sparky models. Okay, let's go to the back here. Oh, that's interesting. So these must be like lights, right? And I think they're actually plastic. It's not silver paint. Let me look at it a little differently. No, it is silver paint. Yeah, I'm mistaken. So that is just some silver paint, but it's nicely painted on. It's pretty cool styling. It's a little, maybe that's like the exhaust right there, or no, that's not. And what is this? Uh-oh. I don't know what that yellow is, but I have a suspicion it's part of a decal. I hope it's not something I just did now. Anyways, it looks like there's some vents here, so this thing is probably sucking out air, you know, like as the wind passes over it. Okay, this side here. Is that a paint problem or just a bump in the casting? No, I think that might be a contaminant. Okay, seems to be some panel gaps here. They look alright. And then yeah, you can see here, this is a pretty interesting diffuser. It's taking some extra air from the side here and then channeling it under the car. Okay. Alright, so that's not your typical front view of a diecast, right? This thing looks like a stork or something. It looks like a bird's head or something, or a snake head actually. Huh. So I guess these must be headlights, and you know, on the real car there, you know, there's a bucket behind there. So this is just representing the clear plastic over the headlight bucket. Okay. I'm not sure what this is. There's some air, maybe it's an electrical cutoff switch or something. I'm not really sure. I believe racing rules dictated that this experimental car still had to have 2 seats, so this is like a vestigial seat. I don't think people could actually sit in it. It's just kind of like a there to meet racing rules. Or maybe a kid could have a crazy ride next to the driver. So yeah, it looks like there's a lot of, well, yeah, some paint contaminants going in on this one. And then there's a headrest here, a little detail there. I'm trying to see the steering wheel, if there's anything there. It's just molded detail, no extra paint or anything. Oh, actually looking here, the electrical switch is somewhere around here. So maybe that's a fuel filler? I don't know. Well, okay. It's interesting, that's for sure. Let me know what you guys think. Would you get this? Would you put this in your collection? It's weird, man. It's I'm laughing because it's such a weird looking car. It's I don't know, it's weird. I can't, I guess I like it. I guess I like it because just the fact that it made me laugh is entertainment value. So for me, collecting, I like to learn about stuff, and then it's just, I guess, icing on the cake that it'll actually be funny. Which is why if you look at my videos, I have like some, Simpsons cars and other fantasy vehicles, because I just find them humorous. Alright, well, let's let's put it on the Spin Master here. Senorita Spinorita, and let it go on one last lap of glory, because it never really had much of a glorious life in real racing. So, and also for comparison, here's like a Kyosho brand Red Bull Racing F1 car. So let's see how it compares there. So modern F1 cars are actually quite narrow because the FIA is trying to slow them down, give them less traction around turns and stuff like that. Okay, well, that's interesting. Let's try a different car. Again, like that photograph, this is a Le Mans prototype racer, and this I believe actually might be by the same brand, Sparky. Ah, boy, this is why I don't like cars with nothing on the bottom. I don't know who made this or what this car is. I'm pretty sure it's a Toyota. It's a Toyota Gazoo, and this might have even won a race, maybe like a Le Mans race, but I'm not 100% sure, so I apologize for that. But it's a relatively modern LMP car. So, pretty big vehicle actually, the LMP car. Alright. So the last car to compare it to that I think would be worthwhile would be just like a GT class vehicle. So maybe this also is from Sparky. Oh yeah, alright. So this is, it just says Spark model. This is a 911 RSR. I forget if it's a 997 series or 991 series. I don't know. It's hard to keep track of all the Porsche 911s. So that's actually a really wide car. Granted, it's a 911 with a wide body kit on it, so I guess it's logical. But yeah, I'd be kind of scared to drive this Delta Wing. It's so small. Like, it must feel like a go-kart. It's just it makes me laugh again. I'm just trying to picture myself racing around a track in this thing, because also, if you're driving around and you're sitting in the center, would you be mindful enough to not clip the rear part of the vehicle against a competing car? So that's something to be, must be a challenge for the driver of this vehicle, or drivers of this vehicle, just being mindful that the rear end is so much wider than the front end. Okay. Alright, well, I guess that's it for today's chapter of weird racing history. It's I think really cool that Ben Bowlby designed this thing, and then Don Panos and a few other people invested in trying to push this vehicle. Unfortunately, I think the IndyCar series made the right choice, and probably they went with a more traditional looking race car. So, okay, well anyways, thanks for watching again, and we'll see you around.